Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show, Aftershow, episode number 561. I'm Coach Steve Money, I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach who is waiting to make sure that audio is good and everything, and it is, so we are ready to go. I think so anyway, as soon as I hit this. There we go. YouTube.com/CoachTMoney is where you're watching this. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, as I said, and the financial content on my page is just past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists. And you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, and that's this show, and today is number 561. There's also 147 answering your financial questions streams. It had been a while since I did the answering your financial question streams because I was able to do an after show every day, but now I'm not. Probably most times, maybe 2, 3 at the absolute most after shows a week due to my work schedule. So there will be more answering your financial question streams, and those are at 8 o'clock. And so the next after show, though, is tomorrow morning, Tuesday. The 24th. What up, Trey? Mama call him Trey. Daddy call him Trey. I call him Trey. The music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. And listen to those if you are so inclined. Singing, not my regular job, but you might enjoy them anyway. Market report. And of course, it wasn't scrolled up. Hey, look at that. Market up. Hey, look at that. NASDAQ up the most. Let's check the rest of the planet. Europe, mostly down. Asia, mostly down as well. Let's see what that US dollar is looking like. The euro above it. The Japanese yen down to the US dollar. The British pound, though, low, up against the US dollar. And the Canadian dollar is up against the US dollar. But US dollar up against the Australian dolomite. Say, 3 out of 5 isn't bad. So you can't be upset about that. What do we got for, we got Nike. That's Nike is 26. So that is on the, what is Tuesday? That is on Thursday when Nike reports, gives their earning reports there. Most followed single stocks on Google, the Apple and the Google, both down. Microsoft up 0.25. Meta up 1.47, and Tesla 10.20% up, and that is interesting. It's the biggest it's been up in a while. I was wondering with all these of the Magnificent 7, I guess this is the Magnificent 6, and then you add NVIDIA, which usually sits right here. There it is, and that is up a little bit, 0.15%, 0.15%. So I was wondering there's got to be some stuff up in order for the NASDAQ to be up 0.61%. And I think it's everything we need from the market report. I got one article today that's from CNBC. The FA playbook, free agent playbook, I don't know, financial advice maybe. Here's the salary Americans say they now need to earn to live comfortably. Let's see if they are all living on the coasts, California and so forth, or New York. What up, Sid? And you know what would be great for my viewership, probably, Sid, is if you go into labor during an after show. Wouldn't that be fun? Nearly half of Americans surveyed said they need to earn a six-figure income to live comfortably, according to a new bank rate report. And that's dumb. You do not. In California, maybe. In New York City, maybe. Generally, the coasts are going to be more expensive, but in the Midwest, that's just not reality. You don't need that much. Altogether, the share of adults who feel like, for them, less confident about their financial standing ticked higher in 2025. Okay, sure, I believe that. And so, you know what you should do? So, you see, if you're not happy about your financial standing, maybe you do something about it then and make it better. And I wonder who could do that. I wonder if you could, if you type in, make my finances better, even, and don't even say anything about debt. I wonder how high up Mr. Ramsey would be on that search. The recent period of high inflation and political instability is a high inflation and too many abbreviations there. High inflation and political instability is a perfect formula for people not feeling financially secure, says certified. Yeah, if she's certified, you know, got to listen to her. Financial planner Carolyn McClanahan. Yeah, so people are just nutty. I don't know what they, you know, again, in the Midwest, you don't need six figures. I mean, unless you, you know, everybody wants to have too much, way more than they need size house, way more expensive than they need car, etc., etc. And so, going out to eat all the time, they just want to do all that, and so they think that's what they need, and it's not. What up, Simply? Simply, that big plant thing sprouted what looks like sunflowers on it. By the way, I meant to take a picture just in case you showed up, but I did not do that yet. What up, Aslan? I might have to sing for that one. Okay, if me singing would get you into labor, I would do that. After Sid gets done with all the videos today, she's going to work on her labor playlist. That's cool. Let's see if I can think of a fun or inappropriate one to think for, you know, labor. First thing that popped into mind was, who let the dogs out? Of course, not a dog, it's a baby. Simply been busy. Never apologize for being busy. So I think we're done here because the CNBC does a fabulous job of putting it, the meat of the article in the key points. And so that's basically all we need. And it's a bank rate report. And you can check bank rate for high yield savings account rates. Let's get to some questions. I don't think I talked about this a little bit last night on the answering your financial questions stream in just a preview form, but let's read the entire thing now. Vintage bitch. Yeah, bitch. Magnets. I probably said that last night too. 476. Do they share your name if you get on the show? I want to call with about a question I have pertaining to potential future marriage with my current boyfriend, but I don't RLY. want them to say my name. I'm sure it could already be identified by my voice alone, but I'd still rather not have my name out there, even just my first. Should I say a different name? Any clips I see online? I don't recall them sharing people's names, but I can't remember. They put the name and the city you're from, but you can request that they change it. And also the screener may actually suggest that you not use your real name depending on the question. So yeah, they will do that for you. Longer form Ramsey content. This from Aggravating King 7767. Come on. There are some callers who I'd love to hear more from, even though the baby steps are pretty simple. They are. You know, if you don't overthink them or try to still do your dumb crap while doing the baby steps, they are pretty easy. I don't know how they get 45 minutes out of had more from. I don't know how they get 45 minutes out of Get Extra Jobs, Deliver Pizzas. I can totally see them having George hosting it because he's snarky. The question is, would you watch? Are you talking about, well, as I think I mentioned last night, Jade did have a show. I don't know if it's still on, but they did, are being, videoed. She would put out the videos where she and another one of the Ramsey personalities together would basically like take the first call from them. So it's not a person that called into the actual show. It's somebody, I guess, that was going to do that, and they just took the call themselves for this particular set of videos. And then they checked with them as far as updates. And so I believe that may have been like 30 to 40 minutes, something like that. I cannot remember. It has been a while. But yeah, generally you don't need 45 minutes because, again, the steps are very simple and it's pretty easy to tell where people are, even if people can't figure out what baby step they're on. And a lot of it is just because they don't want to be. For example, if they have a lot of money, but they also have a lot of debt, they don't want to be on step 2. They think, oh, I know, I'm more sophisticated than that. I'm well off. I gotta be up higher on the baby steps. And so some people pick the highest step that they're doing. They're doing all of it at the same time, maybe. So people are just nutty, as I like to say. But the longer form Ramsey content, I mean, George had he said today, the fine print, talking about one of the callers today, and he had a podcast called that. It was Borrowed Future video as well, movie, video. And also, there's like a bunch of other things like that as well that are longer than just the calls. But, I mean, longer form... See, yeah, you're probably not going to get that with one person or one couple, that kind of thing. But the Ramsey show is 3 hours long on the radio with all the radio commercials, and it's 2 hours and 7 minutes for the cut down radio show where they cut out about an hour of commercials. And so that's probably the longest form you're going to get, and they're going to be different questions. So that would seem to be more interesting, but I don't know. Simply hopes Sid has the best delivery, obviously. And it would be second best. Would be good to have that as well. The free delivery, so you get free delivery if you buy a high-priced item on the Amazon, Sid. So does that include baby deliveries? Probably not. Just need baby to cooperate, and kids and cooperation. Good luck. Some are better than others, for sure. And simply blesses her heart, sending happy, healthy vibes and prayers totally your way. Absolutely. Funny CT girl, Connecticut, maybe. Dates really don't matter anymore. I think they switch places. I did read this, and so she was saying like a calendar. It doesn't matter because you don't have due dates. You still do, unless you have your stuff automated, and then I guess they don't matter. But like electric bill, that kind of thing, is still due on a certain date, and so it still will. But I understand the sentiment that the person is trying to, and debt-free, of course, here, the sentiment that the person is trying to convey. Whip your DAC out, okay? Who whipped your DAC out? Handling investments and debt? No. Very simply. So you just read the title and then you go straight to the baby steps and you say, oh, wait a minute. If there's non-mortgage debt, that's step 2. So there would be no investing. No investing, sir. I would love them to draw a freaking dark black line between steps 3 and 4 to at least make you wonder why. That would be it. Like a dark line probably between 1, 2, between 1 and 2, and 2 and 3, and 3 and 4 probably. And then you don't have, and then in one under step 6 maybe, and maybe that would help people understand that 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time in order without thinking about the higher steps. But people are gonna do that. They're gonna, when they're sitting at home and not working extra like they should be on step 2, they're going to be trying to plan the whole rest of their life out and think about the investing part of it. And there's nothing wrong with doing research, of course, at that time. But let's see what they have to say. So there shouldn't be any. Okay, so I found myself in a bit of a unique situation. Everybody thinks that. So let's read it and let's see if it's unique at all. And actually, it doesn't matter if it's unique because it doesn't change the advice. And looking for advice on moving forward. Here's some background. Wife worked for a financial advisor in college, and I invested some money with him. And he obviously advised me. I didn't know advised was a word. On my 401k investments and everything. He took little to no money and was great. All right. Found out yesterday he's retiring at a really inconvenient time for me. For me, don't retire because of me. That happens. You got to find somebody else. Happy for him, though. Perhaps he could recommend a colleague that is like-minded, like himself, perhaps. I took a job last April, and we had talked about rolling my old 401k into my Roth. Now I've started a new job again in February and was going to do the same with both. My new job is an ESOP. I receive 10 to 20% average in stock every year. Employee stock option plan is what that stands for. I get access to a 401k, but no match. I'll provide my stats below and then my questions. 401k, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter how much it isn't in it. You don't touch that. Wife's IRA, okay. Debts, 5k car. So guess how much investing there is. Guess how much investing there is, just like I said before. Even before it was a question on here that I was addressing. What did I say? Step 2 is paying off any debts. Step 4 is investing, and you do not do both of those at the same time. Step 1, 2, and 3 in order without doing a higher step. You don't do step 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. You do 1, then check, and then the step 2 and then check, and then do step 3 and then check, and only then would you start saving for a down payment, which is not on here. That's 3B. And then investing is step 4. So you're doing it wrong. Oh, 5K car, 15K loan, $675 a month, 10K credit card, $200 a month. Yeah. So you're doing it wrong. These spending issues have been sorted out, so no need to flame that like I know y'all like to do. Yeah, that's dumb as crap for sure. But also, again, no investing yet. I've completed baby step number 1, but I'd like it to be 2K, and I just had to pay some repairs, so in a week or 2 I'll be back up there. Well, that's not the advice, sir. You're free to do whatever you would like with your money in your life, for sure. But then if you don't want, if you know people here like to flame you for stuff and you don't want to hear it, why did you post here? That's pretty dumb. Normally I wouldn't think about taking my investments out, and you should still not do that. All of it is going to be too much penalties in it. It's all retirement. It's all retirement accounts, and so you would not do that. So your normally is what you should do. Normally what you wouldn't think about. Why did you? But I can take anywhere from 9 to 20K. I'm not sure the exact number out from the IRAs without penalty or tax. It's probably talking about the contributions. That's still not the advice to do. Since I need to move all of my money around, you don't need to. You don't need to. See, people are nutty with saying they need to. You don't need to, you just want to. And not saying, from old employers, not saying that's not a good idea, but you don't need to. Moving my money around, would it be better to just take out what I can from the IRAs and get rid of the personal loan, which would free up about 2K? No. Again, the advice is to not touch retirement, contributions, or gains. Neither one of those. Free about 2K a month total to put towards the credit card and have paid off in a few months, and then invest heavy again. Not till all of the debt's paid off. So you're doing it wrong. 28.2, if that matters, it doesn't. Also have low overhead everywhere else. Since our home is paid off, okay, that's fabulous. You get to skip step 6, but it'll be a while before you get there to skip it. Because you did it wrong, and you're still doing it wrong. So you can do it right, or you can do it wrong. Up to you, my friend. Temp 1997, save or pay more towards principal each month. Yes, you would pay on your step 2 debt. Also, you would pay more on the house rather than save it, because saving it, if you're trying to outmath yourself by putting a high yield interest account that is making more interest than you're paying on the house, that's not the advice. That's debt leveraging the house to have that extra savings. Hey all, first time posting on something like this. Just want to get a fresh set of eyes. Wife and I have zero debt except our mortgage when we bought last year. Great. We have a big 2K extra per month. We know we're going to be selling and moving in about 4 years. I know the timeline because I'm in the military. And then since you're in the military, you shouldn't have bought a house to begin with. My question is, should we put the extra 2K each month into a money market or high yield savings account for a future down payment on our next house? Or should we put the 1K extra on principal each month and save 1K? Unless you are 100% sure you're going to be moved and that you have to move, then you should just put the money in the house, because you'll still get that back when you sell it. We have a 6-month emergency fund, and that's what you should, and contributing 15% towards retirement. Somebody that understands the baby steps. Good job. Hoping to get ideas on different ratios or approach. No, I would just put it to because we don't know the future, and maybe you won't get moved. Maybe you won't get moved and you can stay right where you are. Shouldn't have bought the house in the first place in the military. Yeah, you just put it on the house and you get it back when you, and because that lowers your debt. And so you always want to be lowering your debt and paying more on the mortgage rather than saving it up for a future down payment. You'll get it back and you can still use it for a down payment when you get it back. But trying to outflank it on interest rate is not the Ramsey advice. Angel Alley, what to do with property I can't fix? Well, a guy in the Ramsey Show chat today said never sell property, always keep property, which is dumb as crap because there's times when you should do that. That's major financial bro advice. Oh, you never sell property. What would Dave do? Okay, and asking what Dave would do. Some people are nutty and they ask what Dave would do and they say right in the thing, I know Dave says blah, 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 but, and then their justification station for doing something stupid. Let's see. Okay, I have a property I can't fix. It's a beautiful building with a lot of potential. Storefront, original 10 ceilings, upper walls, were apartments upstairs. Not was, one working. One working. What is an apartment that doesn't work? Do you mean the air conditioning doesn't work in it, which would suck on a day like today, like this week? Very hot in the OH. Downstairs living space behind the storefront. But at this point, financially, it's out of my range. Needs stucco removal on an exterior wall. Second story with a one-story neighboring building, 18 inches away. Okay, foot and a half. I love it, but I'm at the point where I'm going to have to part with it, and that does happen. I can't afford the stucco removal. We had some financial hiccups. Is the stucco in bad shape? Why does it need to be removed? Why does it, again, this could be a situation of people using the word need incorrectly. That means you just want to do it, possibly. But, I mean, if it's in bad shape and you're trying to rent stuff out, you do want it to look pretty nice. Or you could just rent it for cheaper. Can afford. We had some financial hiccups. Those will happen. And well, I guess after ranting my question, that wasn't really a rant. Who to contact to donate or super low sell this property to someone who can do what I can't? It's historical. It's in rural. I'm sure a realtor would be more than happy to help you with those issues as far as it being historical. Like if it's a historical landmark and is on that list, there could be extra things that have to be done while selling it. It's in rural small town, South Dakota. I was born in a small town. There's some singing for you, Sid. Anything on the labor? Housing market is crazy out here right now, but I don't want to deal with a realtor and try to sell it that way. Well, then you're dumb. You don't know how to do it, so you need a realtor. I just want a solid someone who will do what I can't. I just want to do it my way. Sigh. Yeah, you're being dumb about that. Sorry, this one weighs on me and advice is appreciated. You're being dumb like that. If you don't know how to do something financially, you have to pay somebody that does. Sorry, you don't want to work with a realtor. That's tough crap. I mean, you can try to learn all about it if you want. Knock yourself out. Learn all about it instead of posting stuff on Reddit. Of course, I love the Reddit postings. That gives me content. So I can say you're being dumb about stuff. If I want to sell a house and I don't know exactly how to do everything, especially with it being a historical place, I'm gonna go ahead and involve a professional, and that means a realtor. So stop being nutty. People never will, so I will continue to say that for some reason when I know they won't stop. No progress that Sid is aware of from the just a little bit of singing. You haven't sang us a Coach song in a while. Yeah, because they kind of like to take all the money. It's not even, I mean, it's just, cents each show. And so, yeah, I kind of stopped that. I did have an idea for one. What is it? All Night Long by AC/DC. And you're doing it wrong. I mean, I've basically done that song. How to do the baby steps right has basically been that song before. But so I thought about that over the weekend when I heard that song on the car radio. But yeah, I may do that again at some point. But I just stopped doing it basically because then that artist think they need to take all of the money. And again, it's more the principle of it, not because it's of the small amount of money that it gets. This is long jumping ad 2815. I've had it with cars / rant. Needed advice. Faced with $2,000 repair bill. Well, on a 2022 Malibu, purchased new from the dealership, that was dumb as crap. So that would have been the first thing to not buy a new car. See what else is going on. And so I would think on a new car and you got $2,000 repair, theoretically you would not have any other issues after you get, or not many, after you do that $2,000 repair. So let's see, it's something to do with an electrical connector in the engine. X115 electrical connector to be specific. Okay, the parts cost $80. Diagnosis was $90. So the labor is pretty much $1,800. And they don't do the work for free. They like to make money at car repair places. Mechanics. They said they needed to solder 40 wires to get the new part in and can only be done by their electric guy, I guess. I have sticker shock because what looks like a small thing to replace is like a fifth of the price for a new engine in some cases. If I'm not mistaken, it sounds ridiculous to me. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? So, I mean, if it is, so it's a small part, and so you just can't be dumb, not having any idea, and say, oh, well, it's just a small part. It shouldn't cost that much to put it in. You're a dumbass. Quit being a dumbass. You obviously don't know. You're just hearing what they said. They need to solder 40 wires, and they might be lying to you. Who knows? They might be exaggerating it. Who knows? But you don't know. Otherwise, you would do it yourself. So you don't know how to do it. So shut up. 45K miles on it. So the 30K bumper to bumper warranty is not in play. All right. I bought this car new so that I would not have to deal with the kind of issues I had with my previous used car. And guess what? Buying new doesn't seem to get you out of that, does it? No. So that was dumb for you to buy that new car. Fed up with 100 plus K, 1,000 plus dollars repairs that creak up on me every few months. I will be creep. Biff here writing this. Make like a tree and get out of here. I need advice. Also need a car. I have 2 children. I mean, you can call time of death on the 2022 Malibu that you bought new stupidly. You can do that and buy a cheap used car. You can do that. Knock yourself out. Sell it. Sell it as is. and let the next person fix it. Maybe some mechanic that can actually do that himself would buy it to fix it. Who knows? But you can sell it anytime you want to. Or you can pay the $2,000 and shut up about it. Either one, your choice. 2 children and several activities. That's great. Doesn't matter. Doesn't change the fact that this car could have other problems. If you buy another car, that car could have problems too. Sorry, life doesn't work like that. Should I bite the bullet and have the dealer do the work? Should I shop around? Oh, that was at the dealer? Yes. Okay. You didn't say that was at the dealer. You're dumb as crap. You're so dumb. You don't know anything about it. And here you're getting upset about it just because of the money part. And just because you look at a small part and think, oh, that shouldn't cost that much. You're dumb. Quit being dumb, people. My goodness. And this is just dumb overall, not dumb financially. Like most people on this chat. On this, not chat. This is a Reddit. Subreddit. Internet forum, should I say. Should I shop around? Yes. Would you trust other places B do the work? Yes, I would trust other places B do the work. Sorry, I'm just at a loss here. I just got baby step 1 completed and was working on step 2, but this will set me back to step 0. It's frustrating. This is what happens. This is called life happening. Especially when you do dumb crap like buy new cars, which is against the advice, which hopefully you did before you started the baby steps. I'm assuming you did, since that is 2022 vehicle. So, a lot of whining and being unrealistic about life and so forth. Missed a lot of chat. Let's see. You're doing it wrong. So wrong. What is that? There's a song that does that where it says, no, so wrong. Or is it so long? I can't remember. Saw an argument of the weekend that it's almost never worth ditching a beater for a new car for the cost of a repair. Right. Even if you factor in repairs, it's still less money overall than buying a new car. Unless you would be content with a beatier beater that costs less than the repair, right? Long jumping car repairs are expensive. You can check to see if someone else will do it cheaper, but sometimes it is expensive. As says that, and just repair the car and call it an experience. Next time, buy an older car that costs less. That much is certain. Since it's brand new cars, get all the faulty OEM parts that haven't had the chance to get recalled yet. As said, good point. Sid is full of good points. And the Bambino. With used cars, you can check to see what kind of problems have been reported with the make and model. Yep, absolutely. People will continue to be nutty. That much is certain. Similar equipment, 5411. Almost debt-free car payment isn't fully going towards principal. Need advice. Well, you can't make them, especially, I believe that they can draw the paperwork up that you signed without reading, most likely, that guarantees them full interest. So I believe they can do that. Hey everyone, baby step 2 flare. Hey everyone, hi guys. I'm down to my final debt in my car loan. I recently increased my monthly payment amount, but when I checked the breakdown, I noticed the only part of the extra payment was applied to the principal. Only part of the extra payment was applied to the principal, and the rest went toward interest. And that may have to be like that, or it could just be they do it like that so they make more money and hope you don't notice. Does anyone know how to make sure 100% of my extra payments go directly to principal? Call them and tell them to do that. And if they can't do that because you agreed when you signed for the loan to pay all that interest, or, you know, that particular amount, and that any extra, if it says, it may say in there, any extra payments will be only partially applied to principal and partially to interest. And so maybe that will that's in there. And so, or you can read your own agreement. Should have a copy of it. Do I need to first make the regular scheduled payment the lender originally set, then make a separate principal only payment after that? You could try it, but I mean, who knows? Would love to hear how others handle this, especially if your lender tried to apply your extra payments toward future interest or upcoming months. Thanks. You know what? You know who would absolutely know? Them. So you can call your lender and ask them how to do it. And then that's when they may tell you, oh yeah, we're not doing that because you signed up to pay all of the interest or a bunch more of the interest. So it says, what I've seen is to shop toward the end of that particular model of a car, like Toyota revamps their Corollas every 5 years. Look for one that's 3 years old in that 4th or 5th year of cycle age. Love and nature, success stories. Hi all, I'd love to hear your wins following Ramsey's method, specifically around paying off student loan debt. It's inspiring, and I love hearing personal stories of how others have had success. Thanks in advance. That was some of the earliest debt that I got into, was student loan debt, and so I did manage to pay it off much earlier because it wasn't a lot in life, probably like early 20s, or maybe like right at 20 or something like that. And so, but I didn't learn my lesson. I still did other debt and stuff by then. But as far as the success, since I started following the plan, I like it so much I bought the company. I didn't buy the company, but I did become a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, so I could be in a better position to help others enjoy the same success that I have. And so, again, because these steps, man, whatever is going to happen in your life, the higher number of the baby step that you're on, the better you are, the better situation you're in to handle whatever adversity comes your way. And so just being, on step 4, you got no debt, you have a full emergency fund, and you're investing. So just like right there is wonderful. Way more, and especially when most people are probably in step 2, if not step 1. And a lot of people aren't on any step because they don't care, because they're just being normal people and they're going to have debt. So, but success stories, it's fabulous not having to pay off stuff. And it's much better to not have stuff if you cannot pay cash for it. You don't think it at the time when you're being dumb, and especially younger people being dumb and paying all that interest and making all those payments in order just to have it right now. You don't think about that, but once you get on the other end of it, and you're like, oh, this feels pretty good. Maybe I shouldn't do that dumbass crap anymore, financing stuff. So that's my success story right there. I'm sure that could have been more uplifting, but it wasn't. Simply has to bounce to lunch. You as well. Stay cool there, simply. No combination 8117. How do I get my spouse on board? Now that's the real trick, isn't it? Baby step 2. The first thing is that you have to give the spouse grace. If you are the one that started being worried about your debt or whatever and put it into the Google, and Mr. Ramsey's name came up, and so you found out about his name, or however you found out about the baby steps. Your spouse, though, did not find that and decide that, oh, be a great idea. That's what we should do. So, and a lot of people that find out about Mr. Ramsey and they take it to the spouse and they said, hey, we're going to do this and this and that. Look, we're going to do this. We're not going to use debt anymore. We're going to pay off everything. Oh yeah, and that means we won't be going out to eat or buying. You won't be buying this crap that you usually buy and blah 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 blah, blah, you know, like that. That's not the best way to break it down for them, to explain it to them. And that pushes a lot of spouses away from Mr. Ramsey's plan. Let's see, baby step 2, Flair. We have about $33K in debt. She's on board to pay it off fast. Okay. Then what's the problem? Let's see, but she's not fully on board. The baby step's not fully on board a debt-free lifestyle. Then why is she on board to pay it fast? Just to appease you? I don't know. Not totally bought in. We make a fine income, about 160 to 170K a year in its present form, with it projected to increase. I see an opportunity to crush this debt fast and then set ourselves up for a very fast path to wealth building. Yeah, higher incomes can do that. She's still in the mindset of it's okay to finance things like cars, houses, carry small credit card balances. In other words, I think the kind of upper middle class lifestyle she came from, that could be part of it for sure. When we were going through our pre-marriage counseling, I'm assuming, we agreed to live debt-free. I guess it wasn't clear that the debt-free actually meant. The debt-free meant, actually meant debt-free. Yeah. Yeah, that's nutty. And also, how does she feel? Whoops. How does she feel about the budget? How does she feel about the budget? Could be princess syndrome, where when she wants something, she wants it now. And if it has to happen with debt, so be it. Her biggest hang-up seems to be some debt is normal. And that's normal. We are the weird ones, sir. We're the weird ones. She's completely normal. She doesn't feel seen or heard. Yeah, I mean, and that's your fault, probably. I brought the debt into the marriage, and she feels like, for her, if she wants a $50K car, she can get it. Okay. Oh, so she didn't have any debt. But now she wants to take out some for a $50,000 car. I'm at a loss and see this leading to larger problems very quickly. Any advice appreciated? Well, you need to communicate and compromise. And if you can't do that, counseling. Probably counseling anyway, because when she agrees to be debt-free and then somehow that doesn't mean being debt-free, then that's a communication problem for sure, or an understanding problem. Or she just said okay so it would go away, and guess what? It did until now, until you found Mr. Ramsey. And so the next thing is you have to have grace for her, because guess what? When you got married, you were a dumbass too, just like she is being right now. You're the one that had the debt and brought it into the marriage. So you were the same as her. But, and this happens a lot, you said it does say we have an income, all right? I think we make a fine income, about 160 to 170K a year. So, I mean, if you are, maybe you're making more money than she is, so you're feeling the stress more, perhaps. That could be it. And she's not feeling any of that because you're shouldering it all. So you just need to, again, communicate and compromise. And if you can't compromise or communicate, can't do either one of those, then it is time for counseling. But again, she's the same person she's always been. You're the one that's changed because you decided that Mr. Ramsey is right about stuff. And of course he is, but that doesn't give you carte blanche to just think, oh, well, I'm right, so this is all fine. So, and she should just do this. See, you don't get to say she should just do this. You don't get to do that in a marriage. You know, if it was just like a friend or somebody that's calling into the show, you can certainly say she should do this. But if it's a spouse, I imagine you want to stay married, so you need to compromise. Might need to compromise on some things. But yeah, she feels like if she wants a $50K car, she can get it. Princess syndrome happening there. So, you know, and she maybe feels justified because you came into the marriage with that. But if she feels some debt is normal and she didn't have any, that is very interesting, though. So I want to get to the bottom of that as well. I would have some questions. I would like to talk to her about that, because that's a very, very interesting stance to say that it's normal. Well, then why weren't you normal? Why didn't you have any? Interesting. Good for us to pause or not pause 401k. Baby step 2, the answer is yes, you do that. So again, baby step 2 here, imagine a line, a thick black line between step 1 and 2, and between step 2 and 3, and between step 3 and 4. Of course, 3B in there, right above 4. But you do this one first, and you don't do any of the other ones. Then you do this one second to pay off all debt, except the mortgage. Using that snowball, and you don't do anything until you get done with this. And then step 4, you do the 3 to 6 months of expenses and a fully funded emergency fund, and only after that do you start investing. So a lot of people justification station their decision to keep investing because they have a match, or because they were already doing it and they think they get grandfathered in, or some kind of dumb crap like that. They think they're an exception or something like that. But no, on step 2, you pause the 401k so you have more money going to the debt, so you get out of debt faster. And people, I don't know, don't understand that, or they don't want to understand that, more likely, because it's very simple. My wife and I contribute to our 401ks, because you don't have the same one at work. She does the full match 5%. I do about half the match 3%. Our debt, a recently acquired mortgage, 2 car loans totaling $19K. My wife's student loan, $10K, which are paused. We use credit cards, but those are always paid off end of each month. Quit that dumb crap too, because they're always paid off each month until the time that they're not, until they're used for something expensive. Incomes around 105K combined. Big expenses aside from, not aside for anything, aside from anything needed on the house. There's a baby on the way due in November. All right. And so you would actually pause your in stork mode, which is like an emergency kind of. And so you pause the baby steps for that and just pile up cash. But again, what you should not be doing is investing in retirement at this time. You do not invest in retirement until you're on step 4. So you're doing it wrong. Should we pause our 401k contributions and forego the match for now until we can pay off both car loans and the student loans too? It doesn't, the student loan being paused doesn't get you out of paying it off before investing. So again, trying to finesse the baby steps to fit your little life and what you want to do. And that's a no. Again, I know what Dave would say to do. I knew that Dave would say to do it. Yeah, he would. But is it worth it to gain around $300 to $350 a month? Yes, it is. And that's why he says to do it. Not to mention what we would lose on the match. Yes, it is. I got a great idea. Just do whatever dumb crap you want to do and don't post on Reddit. Don't even consider the Ramsey advice if you want to do something that's not the Ramsey advice. What's your deal? Trying to get somebody to agree with you. Budget isn't tight by any means, and we could throw more at the cars each month as it is, so you're being dumb there too. Quit being dumb. Either do the Ramsey advice or don't. If you don't, I don't care. That's fine. I don't have to live your life. And so that's why I fully support you doing dumb crap if you want to do dumb crap. But it would be nice to get it done quicker. Well, then shut up about the freaking match and the freaking 401k, man. You're talking out of two sides of your mouth. You're saying two different things opposite of each other. People are so nutty. Update to answer some questions. Oh, good. Thanks for your responses so far. 31, wife is 28. Again, none of this matters. That doesn't matter. The age doesn't matter for the advice. APRs on car loans doesn't matter for the advice. Budget isn't tight, and that was up there. We have about 500 left over after all obligations, necessities, and small house upgrades. There's no small house upgrades while you're in step 2. You're doing it wrong. Still paused from COVID. That doesn't mean you don't pay on them. You pay those off in step 2 before you do anything else. It's not like you temporarily go to steps 3 and step 4, 5, and 6, and then only when they're unpaused do you have to start, and you have to start paying on them. Then you're back in baby step 2. It doesn't work like that. You're in baby step 2 whether they're paused or not. No info available due to the save plan stuff. All right. Well, you should still be able to find a place to send a payment. Mortgage is at 6.375. We gave 20. See, none of that matters. I don't know why people ask questions. None of that changes the advice at all. Child care would be through family, and while not free, it'll be cheaper, maybe $600 a month. 2 or so months of maternity leave at 60% after using up PTO. And of course, locked post because it got contentious as heck, apparently. So, and you have people on both sides too. Probably the people that caught this person talking about the two sides of their mouth, saying I want to get it done, but I also want to do my little 401k too, and not do that. So I don't know. A lot of times I feel like, for me, with some of these people, I just want to watch just do whatever you want to, knock yourself out. Now, you don't want to do the Ramsey advice, so good luck to you. Oh my goodness, out of time already. Let's see what we'll be doing tomorrow. Also have a Ramsey show after show tomorrow morning. That's Tuesday the 24th. Frustration post. I got a 4-year degree in supply chain and can't get a job anywhere. I've been looking for 2 years. Well, that sucks, but guess what? Working something else until you get that supply chain job instead of just sitting out being unemployed. High competition 8977. Is it wise to make the jump to be a stay-at-home mom? So what I love is when this question comes from a young lady that signed up for a whole bunch of student loans, and even if they did get the degree, then they don't want to work and pay off that student loan. They want to be a stay-at-home mom. So, and that's why you shouldn't let kids do this. I mean, at 18, supposedly adult, I guess if you can join the military, I guess you can also sign up for debt. But most people are too dumb at that age and not, and you know, you're not looking at 30 years old and you're not thinking, oh, well, if I go to college, I might meet somebody there and marry them and have their children and have our children, and I want to stay at home with them. So yeah, so that is why you don't take out student loans. Another fine reason for that, and we'll talk more about these tomorrow morning. Plumbing, too bad options. I need more options, and there probably are. So what you want to do is you get more than one estimate on it for sure, and so we'll read exactly what's going on there. But you want to get as far as fixing, and I saw something about selling in there, and you could do that too. Feeling lost, need guidance, 5-year anniversary. All right, I'm not seeing any keywords that tell me exactly what's going on there, so we will find out tomorrow. Once again, I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you are having financial problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me by emailing me. I used to use a website called Calendly, but my schedule changes every single week. Sometimes during the week, the same week, it changes with overtime and such, and so it's way too much of editing the availability. So just email me and we'll work it out. That, of course, is coachstevemoney@gmail.com. And I already explained all that. When I do this, I reset the ticker down below so I can just read off of that. Again, the email, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. In addition to scheduling, you can also ask me any financial questions or about financial coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney, CashApp $CoachSteveMoney. It was not taken, imagine that. And Walmart gift card, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show today. Only 2 this week, this being one of them. And so the other one is tomorrow. Today is Monday, June 23rd. I thought I took that out. Apparently I didn't. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, June 24th is the only remaining one. Answering your financial questions streams, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Possibly Thursday, June 26th. I might have an appointment that night that could bleed past 8 o'clock, and so maybe not on that, but definitely Friday, June 27th will happen. So pretty light on the Steve streams this week. So we'll see next week. I don't have my schedule for next week yet, and so we'll have to see on that. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.